All right, imagine this. You're leading a faith that is just exploding across the entire globe. It's the 1950s, a time of huge, monumental change for the Baha'i World Center, and at the very heart of it all is its leader, Shoghi Effendi. Now, for something that big, he needed people he could trust, absolutely. And by looking at his own official messages, we can start to piece together this fascinating portrait of one of his most essential figures, Mason Remey. So here's how we're going to break this down. First, we'll set the stage with this incredible construction boom that was going on. Then, we're going to follow the trail of Mason Remey's appointments, and you'll see step by step how he became such a central figure. And the best part, this isn't just guesswork. We're building this picture of trust directly from the historical record.
You know, to really get Mason Remey's role, you have to picture the scene. The early 1950s were just a whirlwind. The Baha'i faith wasn't just growing around the world, it was literally building its future, both with stone and mortar, and with brand new administrative structures to support it all. I mean, just listen to the weight of those words. The hour is ripe. This was so much more than a construction project. It was seen as the fulfillment of a process that started 60 years before, and right at the heart of it all was the World Center in Haifa, where this magnificent shrine of the Bab was taking shape. This was history being made tangible. So you've got all this physical building happening, right? Well, that creates this urgent need for, administrative building too. An enterprise on this global scale needed a whole new kind of leadership, a new coordinating body, right at its very heart.
And this massive growth brings up a huge question. The national communities, they're running smoothly. But how do you manage the truly international work? Who's going to coordinate these massive projects happening in the Holy Land?
And the answer? It arrived in January 1951. The creation of something completely new, the first ever International Baha'i Council. Now, this was not just another committee. It was the seed, the very beginning of a future global governing body. And it was tasked with everything from dealing with the new state of Israel to overseeing all that monumental construction.
And this wasn't some quiet, behind-the-scenes announcement. No way. In this cablegram, Shoghi Effendi calls it a weighty, epic-making decision and a most significant milestone. The language he uses is crystal clear. This was a really big deal. So, who did Shoghi Effendi pick to lead this vital, epoch-making new council? He appointed Mason Remey as its very first president. From day one, he was put at the helm of the faith's highest international body.
And you can really feel how personal that trust was in this next message. It's not just some formal announcement. It's a direct, personal welcome of his help. Notice how he specifically highlights its president, Mason Remey, tying the success of this whole new venture directly to him.
But, being president of this huge new council, as important as that was really just the beginning. Later that same year, a whole other level of trust and responsibility would be placed on him. But this time, it was in a more spiritual capacity.
This was the creation of the hands of the cause of God, and this was a totally different kind of role. It wasn't administrative, it was a spiritual station. These were people appointed for life, and they were given the sacred, profound duty of protecting the faith's unity and inspiring its growth all over the world.
So, in December 1951, the first 12 hands of the cause were appointed. And here's what's so crucial. Mason Remey was one of only 3 who were stationed right there, in the Holy Land. Now think about what that means. Key members of the International Council were also elevated to this high spiritual rank, all working together at the Faith's World Center.
Okay, so let's just recap for a second. He's got a top administrative job and a top spiritual rank. This rapid series of appointments then leads to a role that shows, maybe more than anything else, the ultimate level of personal trust and confidence.
So, to really kickstart a new era of growth, a series of 4 massive intercontinental conferences were announced. And these weren't just meetings. These were meant to be huge rallying points for the entire Baha'i world, designed to launch a decade-long global plan.
Now, for events this important, Shoghi Effendi needed more than just delegates. He appointed certain people to be his special representatives. What does that mean? It means they were his voice. They were there to deliver his message and explain his vision for the next 10 years.
And for the major conference in Asia, Mason Remey was chosen for this mission. I mean, to be sent as the leader's personal representative to an entire continent, that was a profound display of trust, something reserved for only a select few.
Okay, so when you actually lay it all out like this on a timeline, the pattern is just undeniable. In January 1951, he's made president of the new council. By December, not even a year later, he's a hand of the cause. A year after that, he's a special representative. In less than 2 years, he received the highest administrative, spiritual, and personal appointments. It's just an astonishingly rapid accumulation of trust.
So, let's pull back for a second. What does this all add up to? Let's look at the complete picture of trust and service that emerges from the official record during these absolutely pivotal years.
Let's just run down the list here. President of the International Council? Check. Hand of the cause? Check. Special representative? Check. And let's not forget his long-standing role as an architect. The key thing is, he wasn't doing these one after the other. He held these immense responsibilities at the same time. This placed him squarely at the epicenter of the faith's global affairs. So, the big takeaway here is that the historical record itself is unambiguous. The official messages from this critical period don't just mention Mason Remey in passing. They portray him as a central pillar, a figure who had earned profound and multifaceted trust from the very top.
And that kind of leaves us with this one big question. When an organization is going through a period of make or break growth, how does its leader choose their most trusted deputies? The story of Mason Remey, all documented in these messages from 1950 to 1957, isn't just history. It's a powerful case study in how a leader identifies, elevates, and empowers the people they trust to build the future.